recruiting process and really liked his tools, the talent that he has, the competitive spirit that he plays with. And so as we were going through the process, he's a guy that I had always had on my recruiting list. And the circumstances being the way that they played out, he was on his official visit here, I think, when the news broke that I was coming. And so I had completely stayed away from any contact with him during that process, just ethically staying away from all that. And all of a sudden, I start getting all kinds of messages from him and everyone else that he's decided to come here. And, of course, I was very excited about that.
At what point, I mean, I know there were many things going through your head as you were changing jobs, but at what point did maybe that occur to you that, like, Louisville also is a finalist for this guy that I like a lot?
I think a lot of that just ends up happening as the course of the process goes. There's so many things that you're dealing with when that happens, and certainly my biggest concern was the coaching staff and the players that were here at the time when we first started making this decision and the transition started to happen. But then it quickly gets turned to recruiting, and the guys here, the coaches here, had done a really good job of laying a foundation for these guys, and it was easy for me to come in, especially with the energy boost that I had with the transition, to come in and be a part of the final few weeks of that, and I think closed out well.
Do you guys do you anticipate running the same system as the quick side, strong side that you've always had for forever?
This is Coach Petrino's offense,
yeah.
and we're not going to. And it's a time-tested, elite offense. It's an offense that has been good. Was great last year and has been good for years and years and years. Number one, because he's the best football coach in the country and the best play caller in the country, but also the scheme is cohesive. It fits together. It has answers, and so we're certainly not going to mess with any of that.
What do you feel like coming in with there's probably going to be some scrutiny on the offensive line? It seems like that has been, just statistically sacks and things like that have been a change of you coming in as far as how you'll deal with that or how you'll tell the guys.
So you're saying that like there's a time when there's not scrutiny on the offensive line. Is that how that works?
Right.
So that's what comes with the territory. It's just big boy football. You know what this is, and we're going to go do everything we can to improve and put the best group of five out there that we can. And we've got a lot of guys that are developing players that, as they develop and grow, will be better. And this isn't magic, and I'm not going to wave a wand and all of a sudden we're going to be a great offensive line. It's not going to happen like that, and we're going to work our way to developing into a good offensive line. And when's that going to happen? I don't know. We'll figure that out once we get out there and start working.
How soon after you first started talking about coming back did he mention that this class, that O-line was a priority? I mean, you probably saw there were a few guys committed already, but I mean, did he say, like, this is something that's important to us for signing?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, every season that I've been in this, the offensive line has been a priority because it's just so hard to find talented players in the numbers that you need to be successful. They're just not out there. And you can find big guys and you can find guys that have a lot of stars and all that stuff, but they're really good offensive linemen. There's just not that many numbers, and so you're always in a projection mode as a recruiter. You're looking to evaluate guys that have tools that you think that you can work with, and especially in the offensive line, the younger the players are, it's harder. That projection is harder because there's so much growth that has to take place. And so when you're looking at guys in their freshman and sophomore years, it's a whole lot easier to project a wide receiver at that time than it is an offensive lineman. They look like 2 or 3 year old giraffes with arms and legs going everywhere, and you're trying to say, okay, 3 years from now, what will this be? So there's a lot of misses in that in recruiting offensive linemen. But having said that, I'm so encouraged with the work that was done here and with these guys, and I think that we've got a good group to bring in and start to work with.